minute because it has been getting a little too much traction and credit as of late. There are so many people who are saying that they just aren't motivated. And I get it. There have been so many times where I just haven't felt like doing anything for various reasons. But that's because motivation is a mood. And all moods change. You can feel inspired on Monday, tired on Tuesday, annoyed by Wednesday, and completely over everything by Thursday. So the danger with motivation is if your whole plan depends on you feeling motivated, you really don't have a plan. All you really have is a wish with a little bit of caffeine in it. And listen, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here giving medical advice or pretending to explain how the brain works. I don't have a degree in medicine or a lab coat. But we do have a need to have an honest conversation about what happens when we keep chasing the feeling of being motivated or just feelings in general and don't start laying the foundation or structure that leads to consistent, predictable action. Feeling motivated and reading motivational quotes and listening to motivation videos can feel productive. And that's because when you hear something and it makes you feel like you're not crazy, you're not the only one, and it does inspire you to keep going, you get a dopamine hit. And the dopamine gives the same feeling that you would get if you actually completed the action, even though you haven't. Just saying you're going to, you feel like you can now, tricks your brain into feeling like you already did, which in turn reduces your motivation even more to do it because your brain secretly thinks like it's already been done. You see that circle? So this is something we have to be very honest and candid about. You can become addicted to the emotional hit of motivation. And it's not because you're lazy or don't care. It's just simply how our brains are wired to work. And again, I know it feels good to talk about change and to identify with a person who is about to change or has changed or has worked toward a similar goal and is accomplishing it or is a little further along than you are, because it lets you know that it can be done. But you really have to wean yourself off of that, because continuing to get that dopamine hit before you take action is going to keep you in a perpetual state of inaction. Motivation can get you excited, but operating systems get you consistent. And consistency is where the real change is going to happen. And it's not something dramatic. It's literally like the old saying, you put one foot in front of the other. You don't wake up one morning and you're miraculously a completely different person. You're that person that day because of the actions you took 30, 90, 190, 1 year ago from that day. And that's why the real version is quieter than that. It looks like knowing what to do next, even when you don't feel like doing it. It looks like having a place for your ideas, a process for your work, a rhythm for your money, a plan for your content, and a structure for your business. It's a way to move forward when the feeling is not there. Now, when I say operating system, I don't mean some complicated corporate framework. It just simply means the way you run things. Your personal operating system is how you manage your time, your decisions, energy, money, responsibility, and track toward your goals. Your business operating system is how you manage your offers, your content, your customers, documents, follow-up, delivery, and industry standards. And a lot of people don't have either one of those operating systems. They just kind of have the vibe. They have a Pinterest in their phone consisting of screenshots. They have notes in several different places, ideas saved in apps they forgot they even downloaded. And they look back on it from time to time and realize that their to-do list has turned into a guilt list. And every few weeks, they get frustrated by that and say, I just need a little motivation. No, that's not what you need. You need to get organized, and not in a cute way. Not buying another planner and pretend that it's a personality shift kind of way. I mean, organized enough that your next move is always visible and easy to execute. Because the real problem is that you're not lazy. Sometimes the problem is that your life just has too many open loops. There are too many things you need to decide, finish, and document. And you're carrying all of these things around in your head. And because they're swimming around in your head with no true blind execution, it starts to feel heavy. And that's when people procrastinate. It's not because they don't care. It's because they feel overwhelmed. When you sit down to post content, but you haven't decided your topic, you feel overwhelmed. You sit down to work on your business, but you don't even know what you want to offer. So now you're overwhelmed. You want to hire help, but you don't have a clear idea of what you even need the person to do in the role. You're overwhelmed. You want to train someone, but the process only exists in your memory. So now you're overwhelmed. You want to be consistent, but there's no rhythm to return to. You get what I'm saying? Every single action requires fresh emotional energy because there is no operating system. And because of this is why you're exhausted. And this is why talking too much about what you're going to do can also become a trap. Now, sometimes you need to protect your plans because not everybody needs access to what you're building. That's number one. And the reason is not everybody's going to understand, and also not everybody's going to clap for you. Some people are envious, jealous, or just too negative to be in the room while something is forming, and that's the real hard truth. But another reason that you might not want to speak on something too early is because sometimes when you talk about the plan too much, your brain starts to treat the announcement like an accomplishment. And we talked about this earlier. When you say, I registered for the certification, or I looked up information about starting a business, or I'm going to launch this offer, I'm applying for this program, and people say, oh, that's great, congratulations, I'm so proud of you, I can't wait to see what happens. And even if they mean well, even if the support is genuine, you already got part of the reward. You got the congratulations before the completion. You got the emotional payoff before the work. And now the pressure to actually do the thing quietly decreases. And what does that mean? So does your motivation. That doesn't mean you can never share your goals. It means you need to use discernment. Share with people who can help you stay accountable. Share with people who understand the difference between celebrating the decision and the result. But do not keep feeding your mind the feeling of achievement when you've only completed the announcement. This is how people stay stuck in a loop. Almost started, almost launched, I'm almost finished, I almost applied, my life almost changed, I almost built the thing. Almost, as you see, is very busy, but it's unproductive. An operating system breaks that loop because the question stops being, who did I tell? And becomes, what did I actually complete? It stops being, do I feel motivated? And becomes, what's my next move? The question changes everything because feelings are unstable, but repeatable moves can be built and scaled. If your goal is to create content, your repeatable move might be to choose one topic, pull 3 teaching points, record 1 video, create 3 shorts from it, and post 1 supporting written piece. That's the system. All those things created from one main product. If your goal is to improve your money, in that aspect, the repeatable move might be to actually sit down and review your income and bills, update your debt tracker, check subscriptions, and decide what gets paid, paused, or reduced. That's the system. If your goal is to run a better business, then a repeatable move might be to clarify your offer, to document your process, set the price, create an intake process, a delivery process, and establish how you're going to follow up after completion. That's a system. Notice none of that requires you to feel magical. It requires you to know what happens next. And here's another thing. Stop treating everything like a brand new emergency. Some things are not emergencies. They're undocumented process. And that thought context makes a big difference. If every client request sends you scrambling, you need a process. If every new hire has to sit with Sally and absorb the job through workplace osmosis, you need a process. Because how Sally does it may not be how you actually want it done in the long term. But if nobody has documented the real standard, then Sally becomes a system. And then leadership gets frustrated because the new hire is not performing the way they expected. But the truth is, the person was never trained inside a clear operating system. They were placed next to another person and expected to absorb excellence by proximity. That's not training, that's just hoping. The same thing happens in your personal life too. If every bill cycle feels shocking, even though the bills come every month, you need a process. If every week you're reinventing your content from a blank page, you need a process. If every business decision feels like a foggy mess, you need a process. Work that repeats. The question is whether you're going to keep repeating the confusion is up to you. The next thing is build for the version of you who is tired. Don't build for the version of yourself who is inspired. Okay? That person is wonderful, but he or she is not always available. So you need to build your system for the version of you who is tired, busy, distracted, and still trying to hold things together. That version of you needs fewer decisions to make, fewer tabs to open, fewer mystery steps, fewer wait, where did I put this moment, right? That version of you needs a simple place to look for the next clear action and a system to help execute that. Because discipline is always easier when the path is already laid out. And this applies at every single level. If you're just starting and you do not have a lot of money to spend on an operating system that helps you use time better, or if you already have some money and are trying to grow your operating system, or if you're even running a business and have all the systems you need, but you need to help them deliver your needs more consistently, then you need to stop and think about these things we talked about today. Remember, it's not about being fancy, it's about being functional. And that's why I always come back to one word, clarity. Because motivation will not fix a cluttered workflow. More ambition is not going to fix your unclear priorities. More content will not fix a confused offer, and more effort will not fix a role nobody understands. At some point, clarity becomes the work. And I think that is where people get uncomfortable because motivation lets you stay in an emotional frame of mind. Systems that include data makes us get honest. The system will show you where that gap is, and it will show you that the issue is not always time. Sometimes it's decision making, avoidance, a lack of documentation. Sometimes it's trying to build on top of a life that has no structure underneath it. And that's not an insult, that's just information. Once you know that, you can do something with it. It's the saying, know better, do better. So no, I do not think you need to wake up every day to feel motivated to reach your goals. I think you need a way to keep moving when motivation is not present. Again, a rhythm that you can return to, standards that don't depend on your mood, and processes that reduce your mental weight. That is what operating systems do. It doesn't make life perfect. It makes life easier to manage, and that's both personally and professionally. So this week, I want you to look at one area of your life, be it business or personal, and think to yourself, what keeps that particular aspect of your life feeling heavy? Again, not everything, just one. And I want you to ask yourself, is it really motivation that I need to solve this problem? Or do I need a clear operating system? Because once the process is clear, the next step gets lighter. And sometimes that is what progress actually looks like. It's not loud, it's not flashy. It's just getting clearer, cleaner, and making things easier to repeat. That is where the real shift begins. And if this conversation helped you, make sure to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more practical business and life systems content. There should be another video on your screen that continues this conversation, so you can click that next. And if you're building a business and need help getting the operations side out of your head and into something clear, links to my tools and services are located in the description, including my operations and role clarity services page. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you